Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm back with some more updates coming out from the Middle East to share with you, and I want to do a post-attack report in regards to Israel's attack onto Iran just yesterday. And we heard right around 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time just yesterday evening that Israel was carrying out the retaliation strikes against Iran, and these attacks lasted roughly about, I want to say, 3.5 to 4 hours before it was finally declared over with. And looks like Israel attacked many sites inside of Iran, and for the most part targeting military sites. From what I know, there was air defense sites that were attacked, and also we had missile manufacturing sites that were targeted, many military targets inside of Iran being targeted just yesterday. And I reported to you guys yesterday as well that an IRGC headquarters and also a barracks at that same property was potentially targeted also. So Israel definitely carried out lots of strikes last night. Over 100 Israeli warplanes were used to carry out this massive attack. Lots of air defense activity last night inside of Iran as well. I've got some video footage to show you guys. So I just want to share some updates on what's happening over in Iran right now, what's happening with Israel, and is Iran prepared to attack back onto Israel? We'll have to see. We haven't heard any official reports yet, but I am seeing some reports that are kind of conflicting, some saying that Iran will respond and some saying that they won't. So we'll have to see what they actually choose to do. But real quick, this is a picture that was shared by the Israeli Air Force of some of the pilots preparing to take off from the air bases in Israel as they were going to strike targets inside of Iran. Okay, so we're going to talk more about this today. Let me jump on over to X and start sharing some details here with you. From the informant, in a statement following tonight's operation against military targets in Iran, IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari declared the IDF has fulfilled its mission. Should the Iranian regime make the mistake of initiating a new escalation, we will be compelled to respond. Okay, so a 1-minute clip of him declaring that their mission is over, and also stating that if Iran responds to this, this will be a new escalation, a new round of escalation, and these attacks will continue, okay? And they'll probably have to strike Iran again. So take a look at what he has to say, 1 minute long.
I can now confirm that we have concluded the Israeli response to Iran's attack against Israel. We conducted targeted and precise strikes on military targets in Iran, thwarting immediate threats to the state of Israel. The Israel Defense Forces has fulfilled its mission. If the regime in Iran were to make the mistake of beginning a new round of escalation, we will be obligated to respond. Our message is clear. All those who threaten the state of Israel and seek to drag the region into wider escalation will pay a heavy price. We demonstrated today that we have both the capability and the resolve to act decisively, and we are prepared on offense and defense to defend the state of Israel and the people of Israel. I can now confirm.
Okay, so that's the latest update coming from Daniel Hagari. As you can see, he said they attacked missile manufacturing sites, and also warning Iran that if they choose to attack again and create a new round of escalation, they will be compelled to respond once again. Okay, so military sites were targeted inside of Iran just yesterday. So moving on to another update here, we have this report from the official X account of the State of Israel. IDF, a short while ago, the IDF completed precise and targeted strikes against military targets in a number of areas in Iran. Our planes have safely returned home. The strike was conducted in response to the attacks by the Iranian regime against the state of Israel and its citizens in recent months. The retaliatory strike has been completed and the mission was fulfilled. Based on intelligence, IAF aircraft struck missile manufacturing facilities used to produce the missiles that Iran fired at the state of Israel over the last year. These missiles posed a direct and immediate threat to the citizens of the state of Israel. Simultaneously, the IDF struck surface-to-air missile arrays and additional Iranian aerial capabilities. So aerial capabilities, I believe we may have had some drone facilities that were attacked as well. I've got video footage here coming out from Iran during the day after the attacks happened last night. So it looks like they targeted more than just missile defense or missile manufacturing facilities. So it says here that were intended to restrict Israel's aerial freedom of operation in Iran. Iran fired hundreds of missiles directly towards the state of Israel during the two attacks in April and October, and funds and directs terrorist activity through its terror proxies throughout the Middle East in order to attack the state of Israel and its citizens. Alongside Iran's efforts to attack the state of Israel, Iran acts to undermine regional stability and security and the global economy. The IDF has a range of offensive operational capabilities, some of which were deployed today during the strikes on strategic assets deep within the Iranian territory. The state of Israel reserves the right to defend its citizens if the Iranian regime continues attacks against the state of Israel and its civilians. The IDF is conducting ongoing situational assessments and is ready to conduct defensive and offensive action. There is currently no change to the home front defensive guidelines. The public is asked to continue the following guidelines. Okay, so this was the latest update coming out from the official X account of the state of Israel, showing what some of their strikes were inside of Iran and why they did this. Obviously, it's in response to the attack back in October 1st, just about 3, almost 4 weeks ago now. And then also, most likely in response to what happened back in April, because many of these ballistic missiles that were fired in October 1st were also fired back in April when Israel was attacked again. Okay, so also moving on to our next update, Iran Spectator breaking news. Iran to retaliate against Israel tonight. Iran's leader of the armed forces has confirmed Operation True Promise 3 will take place tonight. General Bagheri, we will strike Israel tonight with significantly more strength than before. Okay, so we're not going to watch this video because it has no English subtitles and it's not in English at all. But apparently this is something he stated here in this video. But, take it with a grain of salt. We'll see what happens here. We haven't seen any official reports of Iran coming out and stating this other than what we're seeing on X. So maybe they'll strike back against Israel. Maybe they won't, but I'll definitely keep an eye on it. And if we do hear that they're attacking Israel, I will definitely try to cover it for you guys, okay? So moving on to another update, ViceGrad24, Iran informed Israel through a foreign mediator that it will not respond to Israel's attack. Okay, so this is kind of what I said. We're hearing, kind of back and forth here in terms of, will Iran attack? Will they not? We're hearing that they will, then we're hearing that they won't. So it looks like different sources are sharing information that is kind of conflicting at the moment. So again, we don't know for sure if Iran is going to strike back. Maybe they will, maybe they will not, okay? So next update, Dr. Eli David breaking. Israel reportedly destroyed all the radars of Russian S-400 and S-300 systems in Iran, leaving Iran's entire airspace blinded to future attacks. Okay, so multiple sources were sharing this today, that all the radars of Russian S-400 and S-300 systems in Iran were destroyed, and apparently will make it very difficult for Iran to defend themselves with the air defense equipment that's been provided to them by the Russians. So apparently these were some of the major targets that Israel carried out as well, striking air defense sites, as we had reports that 4 Iranians have been killed. I believe these are members of the IRGC that were operating some of the air defense sites that were killed, and I have some reports talking about that here in just a moment. So also from Dr. Eli David, looks like Israel's attack was a preparation, destroyed air defense en route to Iran and Syria and Iraq, destroyed radars of S-300 and S-400 air defense in Iran. Now that Iran's air defense is fully blinded, Israel can freely attack its nuclear facilities. So is that what Israel was trying to do here last night? I don't know. Maybe it's possible. We do know they targeted some missile manufacturing facilities, potentially even in IRGC headquarters and barracks. But this is definitely a plan that was possible here. Some people were kind of stating on X that this attack looked very weak in terms of Israel, striking back on Iran, that it wasn't an extremely strong response. And we were expecting Israel to carry out something extremely significant. Even Yoav Gallant, the defense minister, was coming out a lot recently saying that this was going to be a surprise attack, that Iran wouldn't even know what was happening. But Iran is coming out a lot just over the last maybe 12 hours or so after this attack took place. And for the most part, kind of downplaying this, is saying that, there was some limited damage inside of Iran, but nothing extreme. But they were reporting 4 members of their military that were killed in these attacks last night, okay? Here's one of these reports that came out first. It started out with actually 2 soldiers being reportedly killed, and then this number jumped up to 4. We'll show you that here in just a minute. So ViceGrad24, breaking 2 soldiers of the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Defense Force were killed yesterday when Israeli airstrikes hit their Hawk air defense system in Mashhad. They have been named as Hamzeh Jahandideh and Mohammed Mehdi Shahrokh Hifar, if I'm saying that right. Sorry, guys, if I'm butchering that. But here's a couple pictures of them supposedly that was released showing the men that lost their lives in these strikes last night as they were operating air defense systems. So then we had this other report coming out from Iran Observer. Just in, another 2 air defense officers of Iran's army have been martyred during the last night's Israeli strikes. Total 4 casualties. Iran can't let it go without a response, which causes direct casualties in Israel. Okay, so yeah, it looks like this number jumped up to 4 actually just in the coming hours. Early this morning, it was reported as 2 air defense officers that were killed. Then this number went up to 4, and I believe these other 2 were also air defense officers as well. Okay, so definitely multiple air defense sites were hit, and it definitely makes you wonder if maybe this was part of the plan, was for Israel to carry out their first wave of strikes to target their air defense locations across Iran, also in Iraq and Syria, is what was being reported, as maybe there's going to be a second attack coming at some point in the future to maybe strike Iran's nuclear facilities. I think that could be definitely a possibility. We'll see what happens. Also for Vice Grad 24, first picture of Netanyahu watching the airstrikes against Iran. Okay, so this picture came out towards the end of the attacks last night. As you can see here, around 5 p.m., about an hour or so, almost 2 hours from the time that the attack started. And this was him in the bunker with, here's Yoav Gallant, some of the other IDF officers, as they were looking at a situational assessment of the attacks ongoing at the time inside of Iran. So that was the latest photo of Benjamin Netanyahu there, the prime minister. Also from Mosin Defender, smoke seen rising from an IRGC air defense base near the town of Kozhir in Tehran province. Okay, so this one came out around 7:36 p.m., close to the end of the attacks of what we saw happening in Iran last night. This was in like the last hour of the attacks taking place over there. And as we can see from this video footage, right over here, it is very blurry, but you can see some smoke coming just in the distance over here on the side of this hill. And apparently, this is potentially an air defense site that was hit. So definitely lots of reports of air defense sites coming under attack. Also considering that 4 of the air defense officers were killed inside of Iran as well. So it makes you wonder if that really was the plan last night. Oza Defender reports air defense activity and explosions seen earlier over the Khuzestan province of western Iran, with several strikes reported against Dezful military airport and a nearby surface-to-air missile site. Okay, so this video footage is going to show what appears to be air defense guns being fired, and you're going to hear lots of like explosions and pop sounds. That sounds kind of like gunfire, and you'll see some explosions in the sky. So take a look. Okay, so some sources on X were sharing that this was all Iran really had in terms of air defenses, was anti-aircraft guns that were being fired, that they didn't really have any like missile defense. So I'm not really 100% sure about that. I'm sure Iran did have some, but most of the air defense footage that I was seeing coming out from yesterday was anti-aircraft guns being fired, and these were being used to take down potentially ballistic missiles that were fired from Israeli warplanes. Okay, so those obviously wouldn't be too effective to take those down, but we were seeing a lot of this coming out from Iran yesterday, was mostly anti-aircraft gun fire into the skies. So now this came out today around 1 a.m. this morning, and it says Osin Defender, a factory complex within the Shamsabad industrial city to the southwest of Tehran, has suffered significant damage as a result of last night's Israeli missile attack, with the factory targeted believed to have been involved in the development of production of military drones. Okay, so this is what I mentioned earlier, that it looks like we had other aerial defense facilities that were targeted as well. This is potentially a military drone production facility that was targeted inside of Iran. It looks like the city of Shamsabad, okay, if I'm pronouncing that right. So we've got 2 videos to take a look at, and also a picture which shows some major damage to this building over here. So take a look at this. Okay, so what we see in this video here appears to be major damage to this building, supposedly a result of an Israeli airstrike last night inside of Iran, targeting this facility, which potentially was being used to produce military drones. Okay, so one more video coming up next. This video doesn't have any sound, but we can see somebody driving by here and showing this facility as well. Took a direct hit to the top of this building. Looks like the top right side over here, just completely demolishing the building. Okay, so definitely it did come under attack by something. And here's a picture too, showing the side of this building completely damaged and destroyed, and most likely taking a direct hit from an Israeli ballistic missile that was fired from one of their warplanes. Yeah, so this is some of the damage that we were seeing just today being revealed inside of Iran, and there really wasn't much being revealed. For the most part, the Iranians are coming out saying that the attacks were not too amazing in terms of how much damage was being reported inside of Iran. So for Mossad Defender, senior U.S. officials believe that this should hopefully be the end of direct strikes between Israel and Iran. Now, hope is obviously the most they can ask for, as we don't know exactly what Iran is going to do. Is Iran going to randomly attack Israel out of nowhere? I think it's possible. Is this going to start a full-scale war in the Middle East? We don't really know what's going to happen yet, but I'm going to keep a close eye on it, and as soon as I find out, I will definitely report that to you guys. So also for Mossad Defender, this was coming out yesterday, just about probably an hour or two after the attacks took place. Insane amounts of downplaying being done by Iranian state media. Hopefully that means that Iran does not plan to respond and their tit-for-tat with Israel is over. Okay, this was a report here from Iran Nuances. It says here, Israel estimates by sources that in Iran indicate that Israel's strikes have been weak, okay? It says here, sources said that Israel tried to target some military sites, hitting some points, but due to the defense operation and previous preparations, attacks achieved no specific and significant results, okay? So let me know what you think about that down below. Did Israel, carry out significant strikes inside of Iran? To me, it's really hard to tell. We did see some pictures and video coming out, but really there's not a lot of evidence coming out showing major strikes inside of Israel other than what I've really shown you guys here in this video and also in last night's video as well. If you haven't seen that, hop on over to my page and go check it out with the retaliatory strike beginning just yesterday. So definitely there was some airstrikes being carried out to inside of Iran, but in my opinion, it wasn't as significant as I was expecting, I guess. But maybe that could be a good thing, as hopefully we do not continue to see more escalation over here in the Middle East, okay? So moving on, this was from Iran's National Air Defense Headquarters from Suppressed News. Despite previous warnings from officials of the Islamic Republic to the criminal and illegal Zionist regime to refrain from any adventurous actions, this fake regime launched a provocative attack early this morning, targeting military centers in the provinces of Tehran, Khuzestan, and Ilam. The country's integrated air defense system successfully intercepted and countered this aggressive action, resulting in limited damage to some areas. The extent of the incident is currently under investigation. In this regard, we urge the public to maintain solidarity and calm and to follow news regarding these events through national media, disregarding rumors spread by enemy media. Okay, so that was the report coming out from Iran's National Air Defense Headquarters. Okay, so them confirming that they were attacked, and for the most part, it looks like they were able to counter most of these attacks and defend their nation, according to this information. Okay, so moving on to another update. Times of Israel missile parts from IDF's Iran strikes found in Iraq. Hezbollah fires rockets at the north. So just today, I think there was something like more than 50 rockets that were fired from Hezbollah today, most likely in response to what Israel did last night to Iran. And the main part of this right here is saying that there were missile parts from IDF's Iran strikes found in Iraq. Okay, so I'm not sure if maybe these were from strikes inside of Iraq, but we were hearing that there were some explosions in close to the capital of Baghdad just yesterday. I reported that to you guys, but we didn't have any official confirmation of any strikes over there. But there were definitely some explosions being heard inside of Iraq last night. So most likely Israel was carrying out strikes inside of Iraq as well, as the Islamic resistance also operates there. So maybe they were targeting them last night as well. So a couple more things to share with you guys. Oza Defender, over 100 Israeli aircraft participated in tonight's series of precision strikes against military targets inside Iran, including F-35 stealth strike fighters. According to the Jerusalem Post, this would be the largest attack by Israel against Iran in history. So yeah, over 100 Israeli warplanes being used last night, including F-35 stealth strike fighters. Okay, so multiple aircraft were being used to strike inside of Iran. So it should have been a very significant attack. But again, lots of information really not coming out from Iran. Even today, wasn't able to find a whole lot in regards to what kind of damage was being done inside of Iran. But according to the Israelis, they have come out and said they have completed their mission. So I would assume it was to their satisfactory. Okay. So one last thing to share with you from the official X account of the State of Israel. The IDF released some images of the Air Force, Israeli Air Force, preparing for last night's successful strike on the Islamic Republic of Iran. Notably, several female pilots took part in this historic mission. So isn't that interesting? Even female pilots were striking targets inside of Iran last night. That's pretty insane. Here's some photos of them right here as they were preparing to take off from some of the air bases inside of Israel and carry out strikes inside of Iran. So here was some of their preparations as they were getting ready to go. So pretty crazy. So there's a picture. I think that's an F-35 maybe right here. I'm not sure what that is, or F-15. So yeah, just wanted to share some of the latest updates coming out from Israel and also Iran for you guys. So we'll see what happens here if Iran is going to carry out a retaliatory strike against Israel. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but this is some of the latest details that I had coming out late into the evening yesterday after these strikes were completed, leading into the early morning today, which would actually right now would be almost nighttime inside of Iran. So yeah, I hope you got something out of this, and if you did, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell, that way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.